Good afternoon, Whispers, and welcome to another fabulous episode of Whispers in a Bottle Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays. I am your host, Sonya LaRae. I'm a luxury lifestyle architect. I'm a lifestyle relationship counselor, fashion psychologist, naturopathic practitioner. Oh my goodness, Whispers, it is so good to be in our safe zone in our Whisperers Lounge, getting ready to birth another fabulous discussion. I have to tell you guys, I am so excited to be in here today because, my week has really been packed. I mean, it's been so busy that I can't even begin to tell you all how, how much has been on my plate. So, listen, we're going to get in here and get relaxed and, get into our discussion today. And don't forget, Podbean has done something fabulous for us. They've placed a live chat box in each and every one of our discussions. So this way, you can drop your questions, your comments, or if you need your girl to reiterate something, put it in the chat box because I love to monitor a great chat box. And also, I'm going to be giving you all some broadcasting notes later on in the discussion as well. So I hope you stick around to the end because we have some broadcasting notes that we're going to be giving and to bring you up to speed on things that are happening here on the channel. And if you haven't already subscribed to our Whispers Exchange, which is our newsletter, you are missing out on so much. And on top of it, we have some new partnerships that are being featured in there, different discussions. I mean, I even have a section in there for food for thought. It's a new thing that's in there and giving you a kind of a deeper dive into the things that I think about and different things that I place into our space and place as well. So make sure that you're subscribed to the newsletter. And plus, you will get all the updates with regards to broadcasting notes, when we're taking break, what special broadcasts and discussions are going to be taking place. So make sure that you subscribe. There's always a live link in our description box here on Podbean, or you can come over, give us a follow on Instagram at whispers_in a bottle_podcast. And don't forget, show us some Podbean love. Give us some beans in there. Just drop a few of those special beans in there. We'd love to receive them because that shows that you appreciate what I'm doing and even that we're building a stronger community. So, with that being said, Whisperers, are you ready to really lean into today's discussion? How gratitude compounds emotional earnings. Whew. I tell you, sometimes these things just make me excited when we get into it. So, I love to start all of our discussions off with a clear meaning and direction or definition, even. So, this is no different. We're going to get a clear meaning or definition on compounds. Okay, that means a thing that is composed of two or more separate elements. Let me give it to you again. Compound. It means a thing that is composed of two or more separate elements. So, Whisperers, the currency of our soul or the soul. Have you ever thought of gratitude as a currency? Now, that's a question that you may need to kind of mull over a little bit, but I'm going to get into it and I'm going to tell you why I'm asking that. So, why I'm saying that it's because it's not the kind of deposit into your bank account, but the one that fills your heart. Ooh, I see that's beautiful right there. It fills your heart, it steadies your emotions, and it floods your soul with peace and joy. That's how powerful gratitude is. That's how deep that deposit is when you think of gratitude. Gratitude, gratuity, the greatness of giving. So, Whisperers, gratitude when we practice or is practiced intentionally. Now, notice the words that I'm using here because you already know that I tell you there's intention when it has aim, purpose, and direction. But then I use the word now intentional or intentionally because it's done on aim, purpose, and direction, but it's really done with a definite purpose then. Because, see, what happens is is that it compounds over time like interest in a high yielding emotional savings account. Now, that's that's big because everybody knows about high yielding. If you're in the stock market, if you're into savings or anything like that, especially in this climate that we're in, you know how dynamic that really is. So, in turn, Whisperers, for the next 40 minutes or so, we're going to have a power packed discussion because I want to dive deep into how gratitude compounds your emotional earnings and the internal, yeah, that's the word I'll use, the internal wealth that really fuels and builds relationships. And it also transforms the way you experience even uh, every way, an aspect of your life. And even how you're handling things, whether you're leading a company, a family, or a personal journey, you'll walk away with three dynamic master keys that will activate a wealth of emotional resilience and richness. Now, I'm taking my time with this discussion because I really want to make sure that I'm hitting on certain points. And if you could see my notes, how I have them written out, you would see like why I'm taking my time with this because I have it structured in such a way that I really don't want to miss anything. And I tell you all the time that I don't have a set fast script with all of our discussions because I like to come in and be able to really speak with you and to build on our topics. So when we get those master keys, they really have a powerful element to them. So, Whispers, let me ask you, what are emotional earnings? That's where I want to start first and foremost. So we really get a clear understanding about it. So this is the thing. I want you to think of emotional earnings as the return you receive from your emotional investments. So every time you show up with kindness, or you choose compassion, or you speak positively, or pause to reflect in gratitude, you make a deposit into your inner emotional account. So let me tell you those again. When you show up with kindness, you choose compassion, you speak positively over yourself, you speak positive over others, or you pause to reflect in gratitude, you are making that deposit into your inner emotional account. So that means that over time, those deposits grow, and just like a compounding interest, right? They begin to pay you in dividends. They pay you back residuals. Now, let me tell you something. There's a beautiful song that an artist made called Residual. And how he has done that, he's speaking of the emotional residuals that are paid out. And if you haven't heard the song, it's done by Chris Brown. He did this song and it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. If you listen to the words and how he even plays off of that word residual, you'll see how dynamic this point really is. So, with dividends like peace, clarity, emotional strength, and fulfillment, that gives you that residual, that gives you that payout at a bigger stance. So, now that we understand what emotional earnings are, I think that this is a good time to get into our master keys. And I notice that we're only at the 9-minute marker right now. So, you know, this must be a big discussion if I'm already telling you that we're going to lean into master keys. And listen, if this is your first time joining me, I want to tell you why I give out master keys in each and every one of our discussions. So no matter when you hear me, it doesn't matter if I'm over here on Podbean or if I'm over there on Noon Vibe or if I'm on stage in different places and spaces, I give out master keys in my discussion because those keys allow us to open up the hallways, the corridors, and the secret compartments of our heart and our mind, which is powerful. But you also notice that I stated the secret compartments because those compartments are only the spaces and places that YOU know of. But those master keys are also so powerful because they allow us to even shut out or close off that inner and outer noise that prevent us from stepping in, stepping up, or depositing emotional currency into our bank account, into our emotional deposit box that we are not drawing from our main account, but we got the overflow. We're pulling it from the reserves. That is not depleting our accounts at all. So with that being said, and now that you have a clarity, I hope you have your keychains with you, because we're going to step in to our first master key. The first master key is awareness rewires your emotional bank. Let me give you first key again. Awareness rewires your emotional bank. So emotional deposits begin with attention. Attention. See, Whisperers, the first major shift in emotional wealth comes from simple awareness. And most of us walk through life like we're on autopilot. I don't know how that happens because, if you're on autopilot, you miss everything around you. You miss all the scenery. You forget to see how certain things are. And when you're on autopilot, you're responding to external events, letting life, dictate your emotional responses even. But when you pause, now, I tell you, I teach constantly, and I even teach my clients when I'm working with them one-on-one, the power in pausing. See, when we pause, we get to recenter ourselves. We get to refocus and reshape and give ourselves a moment to step in or step through the reaction. So we're not reacting anymore. Responding is the key. So this then, we get to take a breath and notice what's going right around us right now. We get to be present. How many times has someone said, you're not very present right now? You could be talking to someone and all of a sudden you're saying something and they're kind of like, yeah, right. They're not present with you. They're preoccupied with something else and you want their opinion, but they can't give it to you because they never heard anything you said because they're preoccupied with something else. So when we take that power in pausing, it allows us to be centered. It allows us to be focused, and it allows us to change and pivot our reaction to things. And you start rewiring your emotional framework at the same time. So that requires training the brain to see through a grateful lens even. So notice I said training because that's what happens. We get to train our brains. This dynamic, it's like a master keyboard or a computer brain that we have, this mainframe. But just like a mainframe with programmers, they can reprogram it so it shoots out certain things and it catches different errors. It is dynamic what our brains can do and how it functions for us. See, neuroscience tells us that the brain adapts to what we feel or what we even feed it. And the more you train your thoughts to really focus on what you're thankful for, be it big or small, and I always tell you all about the micro wins, to not be afraid to celebrate the micro wins because that puts you in the here and the now. The more your brain naturally seeks the positive. Now, you saw how powerful that is. That means that you have shifted that mindset. That means that you have reprogrammed it. You have sent those signals into that frontal cortex, and now it's able to draw on it, and it seeks the positive instead of the negative. It means we have to have simple daily practices to spark awareness, such as gratitude. So that means that maybe you need to sit in a space and place and be taking a few moments and journaling. And I don't mean just simply, I'm so grateful for another day of life. Yes, you should be grateful for another day of life because we are not promised to every day. but it means that you need to sit in a space and place of gratitude in a deeper introspective place and space. Meaning, why am I so grateful to be here? It's because I get to pour out upon this, or I get to build on this, or I get to reshape and shift on this. Are you asking yourself those pertinent questions in that space and place as well? So each morning or each evening, you should take time to just even jot down 3 very specific, not this kind of, alluding to, oh, yes, this, yeah, no, very specific things you're grateful for, and detail what they are and why. Now, I always tell everyone there is life in why. And even when you say it, you birth out that life. You feel that force come over you. So when we sit in a space and place of why, it allows us to birth a different energy. It allows us to acknowledge that space and give grace and dignity to gratitude. I love the comment in here. Yes, that pause, recenter stuff can ignite victory in business and love and relationships. You see, whispers, they're doing things over here. This conversation is connecting and vibrating at a higher decimal because they are really drawing these words into them. So, but with Sea Whispers, over time, you'll begin seeing the good before the chaos when you do the rewiring. And it has a chance to even take root inside of that dynamic, rich soil called the heart. And which leads to mindful acknowledgement. Did you catch that? Did you catch that? Mindful acknowledgement. That means that you catch the moment, you breathe it in, and you slightly say thank you for this or that. It could simply be the kiss from the sun, or maybe just how your mate touched your hand, or how you was able to even empower someone else or pivot or shape a way a person was thinking, or maybe how they felt in that space and place. This is dynamic whispers. So with that being said, this takes us right into our second master key. And the second master key is language shapes the wealth of your emotions. Language shapes the wealth of your emotions. Now, the language of appreciation over complaint. Now, I got to tell you something. This is like the space and place that I live in. I love talking about this particular master key. This has got to be one of my favorites. See, because words carry weight. Words carry weight. And when you constantly speak in terms of lack, complaint, or frustration, you're drawing from your emotional bank account. You're actually withdrawing. You're seeping out money. It's basically like you're riding down the street and you have a suitcase full of money and you roll all the windows down. You sit this suitcase on the back, and all the money is just blowing all over the car and out the windows. That's exactly the same feeling and the same thing that you're doing. So in turn, when you use the language of appreciation, you then start making healthy deposits. The suitcase now gets closed and it's secured and it's tucked away. Maybe you got it secured in the trunk. Maybe you got it tucked under a seat or in a different compartment in your car now. So now you're not just losing all your assets. So speaking gratitude creates energy. And do you know that energy creates outcome? Oh, yes, Whisperers. I have to tell you, I hope that you also got to listen to the power of self talk. I gave that discussion a while ago. And that was back on Friday, October 2021. That's when I gave that discussion back in 2021. But let me tell you how powerful those keys are in that discussion because they go hand in hand with today's discussion. So you may need to go back to that discussion, and I tell you, it's Friday. It's a Friday discussion, October 2021. And in that episode, I gave powerful master keys that allowed you to understand what we speak over ourselves have lasting effects, be them good, bad, or even indifferent. That's the truth of the matter. Be it good, bad, or indifferent, what we speak over ourselves has a power to it. But the power of self talk sparks life and legacy in us as well. And it allows us to understand how affirmations compound self worth. So I tell my clients, and I even tell my daughter, it's what you speak into yourself or what you speak over yourself. Start speaking to yourself the way you'd speak to someone you love. Now, notice how I said that. Start speaking to yourself the way that you would speak to someone you love. I mean, like when you were in that romantic stage of your romance or your relationship. Now let's take it back. Some of you all have been married for a long time. Some of you have been dating for years and years and years. But take it back to when you was in that love stage, that dating phase. You remember how you guys would speak to each other, how you spoke into your mate or how they spoke into you. Oh, it was just everything. It was like, oh my goodness. You couldn't even barely think of someone saying something negative about that person. And they could barely think of somebody saying something negative about you. But see, the words you speak over yourself will be fueled by compassion. The words you speak over yourself will be fueled with kindness. And the words that you speak over yourself should be filled with joy. Even on the bad days, even on the days that we make mistakes. How many times have you heard yourself call yourself stupid? Oh, you're just so ridiculous. You're this, and you just pour this negative vibe over you. It's almost like you just go over there and you pour hot butter on your hand. Now, you know that leaves a terrible burn. But that's what words do to your heart. That's what words do to your brain. It burns a terrible indention into it. And it takes time to get rid of it. So speak words that are kind to yourself. Speak lovingly over yourself. You wouldn't, tear down the one that is closest to you. And who is closest to you than yourself? I always hear those different little statements, and you hear kids always say, oh, sticks and stones break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Well, if that's the case, why is it that when people are being bullied, it hurts so bad? Because, see, those are words. Those are words being spoken into a person. So, yes, words will hurt you. Words can actually hurt you deep and leave such deep scars. So, in turn, it behooves us to harness the power of self-talk. I remember I had a client that was really like a professional at kicking themselves. I mean, that was probably like their profession. But then we started working on speaking life over ourselves. And that was a real chore. I literally every week, was a homework assignment every single week. So I gave this person affirmations like, I am grateful for the strength I had today. So they can realize that they have to be thankful for the strength that they had in that day to be able to push through and accomplish certain things, even to take on the heavier things that they were dealing with. And also, I gave them my mistakes don't define me, they help me to be better. Now imagine if you said that to yourself, that you put that as an affirmation, you put it up that your eye could constantly see it, you put it on your screensaver, and every time my mistakes don't define me, they help me to be better. That would make you feel charged up. That would make you feel like I can step over, step on, and use this as a stepping stone into my greatness. And then the last one I would say that I would tell this person to say all the time is every day I'm building emotional richness. Every day I'm building emotional wealth. Every day I'm building emotional wealth. Do you hear me, whisperers? Do you hear the power in that? When we speak over ourselves in such a dynamic manner, it moves with a different kind of feeling and energy. See, whisperers, emotional vocabulary that builds internal equity sounds and feels so different. That internal equity vibrates at such a different decimal. And we want to speak abundance into existence. Remember, I told you 2025 is about abundance and more. Don't forget it. So when we speak in abundance, that means that we speak in life over ourselves abundantly. We're not withdrawing it and saying that, oh, I'm depleting this right now because it's just not, I'm not worth. No, you are worthy. You are worthy. See, using future positive phrases like I'm growing into peace or joy is finding me more each day just affirms and activates our subconscious mind. Now, isn't that something? The subconscious mind gets activated. So that's when it's a deeper essence. That's a deeper rooted in a space, in a place. It starts to heal the wounds, the subconscious wounds that you may not even be. Remember, the secret compartments. Remember I said that? The master keys allow us to even go into the secret compartments of our hearts and our mind. Whew. I tell you, whisperers, today's discussion, whoo, it's like it's cooking on all cylinders. It's on all the burners today. So let's step into our third master key. The third master key is consistency creates emotional wealth, compounding the power of repetition and pattern behavior. Now, let me give it to you again because I kind of stumbled on it. Consistency creates emotional wealth, compounding the power of repetition and patterned behavior. So, how do I want to do this? Basically, compounding only works. It literally only works with consistency, in all honesty. And gratitude isn't a one and done action. Okay? It's not a one time and oh poof, there it is. So gratitude, it's a daily ritual that becomes even your emotional investment plan. So one drop of water doesn't shape a stone, does it? But a steady stream does. Just think about that, what I just said to you. One drop of water does not shape a stone, but a steady stream does. So, why did I use that illustration? It's so it's to show and emphasize the importance of persistence and consistent effort in achieving a goal. Consistency is the key element here. Even if it seems impossible, whisperers, or requires a significant amount of time, it still will shape. See, that's powerful. So, guess what? This made me think of the 2190 rule of emotional growth. Now, some of you may be aware of it, some of you may not. So, let me lean into it and get into it so you can understand what it is, okay? So, the 2190 rule works like this: you do it for 21 days, it becomes a familiarity, a practice. Now, notice I did not say it becomes a habit, though, because it takes longer for things to become an actual true habit. Okay? Then you'll do it for 90 days. And it becomes part of your lifestyle, and it starts to reshape the mind that it's forming the cursors, the little cursors that tells on building now habits. See, these are cursors. It's going to build the habits now. And the emotional shifts you start to carve, it starts with a simple decision repeatedly daily. So the 2190 rule means that you have to start doing certain things for 21 days, right? So then it becomes like, okay, wait a minute. All right, you get up. Maybe it's having a regular routine in the morning. Allowing yourself that time in the morning to sit in a space and place of gratitude where you get to have maybe that beautiful cup of latte, or maybe you're having your tranquil moment, or you're doing certain things that are pouring into your mushroom coffee, whatever you're doing in that space. But it also allows you to start working in your journal of being in that space and place of gratitude. So now you're starting to develop it. So 21 days, it becomes familiar. It becomes a practice. So now on that 24th day, you're waking up and you're getting up and you're up early. You're doing your stretches, you're breathing. Oh, you open up your chest, you go and get your coffee mug, your favorite coffee mug. You get your blanket, you sit down, you're journaling in your book. Well, now it's time for me to start getting ready, this, that. But you see, you didn't even think about it. You're doing it. Because 21 days straight, you've been doing it. You've been practicing it. You have been doing it with intentionality, which means on purpose. It's intentional. It's going to be that aim, purpose, and direction eventually, and it's going to be right now on purpose. I have got to do this on purpose. So, whispers, it would require that you create rituals that anchor gratitude, like a morning and evening gratitude ritual. For me, I tell you, my morning routine, it's essential for me. I have to have my morning routine. I like to start my day with 4 minutes of deep breathing. I have to be able to breathe. I have to be able to check into Sonya, see where I am. I do some reading. I do some deep meditating. I haven't put in the focus of different things. Even right now, I'm working on something different for myself. And I'm practicing it so it becomes a real habit to see how it's going to impact me in the long run. So I have clear intention on what I'm doing. And then at the end of my very long and busy day, I like to take time of reflection, sipping on my golden moment tea, which is a turmeric tea with ashwagandha, or maybe I have an apple cinnamon tea. but it allows me to decompress. It allows me to rechannel that energy. It allows me to wind down and sit in a space and place of gratitude that now that I'm calm and I'm in a reflective space, when I lie down, I fall asleep and I sleep beautifully. And it doesn't impact my circadian rhythm because I don't have everything else running freely in my brain, just running amok. See, that's how powerful these consistencies are. I have to tell you, Whispers, that the neuroscience behind gratitude and emotional well being, studies show that even gratitude activates the hypothalamus, which, just in case you don't know what that is, it's um, it's really a crucial brain region, right? Which acts as the body's main control center for regulating many essential functions. I don't want to get too deep on that because you can give me look. There's certain discussions that I got to be careful because I go down a rabbit hole. So what it does, it boosts the dopamine and regulates your serotonin levels, and that's the brain's feel good chemicals, right? And this not only improves your mood, but guess what? It enhances your sleep, it reduces anxiety, and it builds long term emotional resilience. Now, you see how important that is? Do you see how important that really is? So, Whispers, to see the emotional ROI that you gain when you practice gratitude, I want you to realize what it brings you. I want you to see what that ROI really is and what it feels like and sounds like. So, what it is, it brings you inner peace. You're no longer at the mercy of your emotions. It also brings you resilience. Gratitude gives you the emotional padding to bounce back. Doesn't make you like put a bulletproof shield or anything. It gives you the ability to bounce back. And it also gives you healthier relationships. People feel seen, appreciated, and safe with you. See, that's powerful. That ROI that it gives out is powerful. See, gratitude is powerful and carries such an amazing transfer even. So, I tell you all the time that there are a few topics that I could just speak on forever. And this is by far definitely one of them. Because I feel like in a space and a place of gratitude, it allows us to see and to be different. How many times have we seen, even now, that there's so much lack of gratitude. There's such a depletion of gratitude, and it's a pull and a push and a constant friction. But see, when gratitude is there, it doesn't allow that ego to be driven. It doesn't allow ego to step in and push his chest up and pump his chest up because it doesn't want to crush the next person, but it also doesn't want to crush you. So that's how powerful this is. Whisperers, I always tell you, we have discussions in here that truly are dynamic. And the best thing that you can do for someone that maybe needs to be a part of our community is to share our episodes. Because you may know somebody in a space and a place that is really struggling in that space of speaking that positive thoughts and speaking power over themselves or putting themselves in a place in a space of gratitude for themselves. They may not have an issue with it for others, but how are they treating themselves? See, sometimes when people are lacking the space and place of gratitude for self, that's where we see depression. That's where we see the high tendency of suicide. That's where we see different things with anxiety. So, this is a discussion that you should be sharing. You know, Whispers, I always tell you I'm so grateful for you to spend your life seconds with me, that I get to pour into these powerful topics with you. I told you I had a few broadcasting notes that I really wanted to share with you. So before I conclude, I have to tell you that I'm so excited over this. I partnered with a dynamic brand, and that aligns with everything I bring forth as a luxury lifestyle architect, as well as your host right here on Whispers in a Bottle. Now you're like, well, how was that so? Well, this is it. So, as a naturopathic practitioner, I always am thinking from things on a cellular level and how it impacts us. So, I always tell you that we have our mocktail hour. When we come in, we have dynamic discussions over mocktails. If you choose to have a cocktail, please do not let us stop you. But I've partnered with a beautiful company called the NA Beverage Company, which is a non alcoholic beverage that is a functional mocktail. And they have, a variety of mocktails that either boost your energy, they help you with your gut, something that I teach about constantly. And if you have a lot of stress, you know that you hold it in your gut and different things that it has an effect on. And it also has effect on cortisol. So they have a beautiful product that works on your gut. They have one that's for calming as well as hydration. So please make sure that you visit the link in the description box, grab the NA beverage, and you can see how great and functional it really is for yourself too. So I'm so excited over that. And then on top of it, that I really teach about holistic skincare. I've always been very much so a person who has been cognizant of what I put onto my skin, what I put onto my client's skin as well. And I'm proud to say that I'm a Silvassa Beauty Pro, and I've been with them. And the products are literally all natural. They're holistic. They are rooted from really a center of what we really need for our bodies on a cellular level, from having turmeric, ashwagandha, to the calming sensations, aromatherapy. If you're interested in doing the 4-4 method with me, which helps you with your breathing and even bringing in a consciousness of yourself, there's always going to be a link in the bio as well. So you'll see all those links today inside of there as well. And also, because this is the month of May, you know that there's so many dynamic things that your moms have done for you and everything. I have a special that is going on right now with Savasa that literally you can get in. You get two beautiful products, and it's for a bundle for $165. And I'm telling you, it's beautiful. Your mom will thank you in the long run. It's double cleanse, and literally they get the melting balm as well as the clay mask, and it is just wonderful. So don't forget about that. Also, because this is May, we're coming into June. You know that June is summer vacation. We'll be going on summer vacation as well. So there's a lot of things that make sure that you're really following us, and also that you subscribe to the newsletter, the Whispers Exchange. So this way you're not missing out on anything, that you're on top of everything, and that you're really kind of centered with us and a part of the community, because I don't want you to be left behind, because that's not what I'm about. So don't forget to subscribe. So let me just say this in conclusion of today's discussion to pull all of our thoughts back together from today. We want to turn gratitude literally into a daily current currency. And that's the truth of the matter. See, because gratitude is your most underrated. And now I want you to make sure you listen. Gratitude is your most underrated emotional currency. And when you use it wisely, though, and you use it often, Whispers, literally begins to multiply every aspect of your emotional life. It triples in its value. It's time to stop measuring wealth only by dollars and cents and digits constantly. Start measuring it by the joy in your spirit, the peace in your soul, and the depth of your connections. And so, Whispers, you will open up your emotional bank account today and start making a daily deposit. And that's what it's about. So, with that being said, Whispers, you have been listening to Whispers in a Bottle Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays. That's live every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Podbean. My name is Sonya LaRae. I am a luxury lifestyle architect. I'm a lifestyle relationship counselor, fashion psychologist, naturopathic practitioner, but by far, I'm always honored to say I am your host. I hope you have a beautiful weekend, and don't forget to allow yourself to fill your emotional bank accounts with gratitude. All right, guys, have a beautiful weekend. I'll see you next week.